All right, good afternoon. It is Tuesday, May 19th, and welcome to the Bring Me the News and Novak Weather Briefing. I'm Tom Novak. We're going to be talking about, of course, this storm system, this beautiful storm system that has been affecting southern Minnesota since Saturday. All right, it's finally starting to lose its grip, and we'll talk about that. And what that means, well, warmer weather here as we head through the rest of the week, the way it appears. Certainly some more sunshine, at least here in southern Minnesota. Northern Minnesota's had sun for the last 72 hours, so they've just had a beautiful stretch of weather. And then, of course, we will talk about the Memorial Day weekend, which really does look interesting, still looks interesting, not only warm, but active. And we may squeeze in a severe thunderstorm here in southern Minnesota. In fact, over much of Minnesota and Wisconsin as we get into the weekend. But first things first, look at this beautiful looking storm system that is right now wrapping up and starting to head south. It's pinwheeling south now from southern Illinois down into Tennessee in the Tennessee River Valley. Now, normally when a storm system is that far away from us, we don't have to worry about it. But it has got just a large fetch of moisture that continues to stream from east to west across the Great Lakes and into portions of the upper Midwest, including southern Minnesota. A beautiful dry punch here in the upper levels and mid layers of our atmosphere over Minnesota and Wisconsin, but it's not helping much here, at least in southeastern and southern Minnesota, as low level clouds have continually advected in from east to west across southern Minnesota. But really, what it comes down to is this is a beautiful storm system, still strong, still wrapping up over much of the eastern half of the country, and it's affecting everybody. A lot of miserable weather out there from the Mississippi River on east, and that does include portions of extreme southern Minnesota. Now, visible satellite loop actually paints a better picture than certainly yesterday. Look at all the clear skies. That's been kind of the trend here over the last 3 days across northern Minnesota. Beautiful weather up there. Finally getting some clouds to scour out here over portions of southern and central Minnesota and western Wisconsin, hence the Twin Cities, for instance. A lot more sunshine today than in the previous 2, 3 days. Even in portions of southern Minnesota, we're seeing some sunshine now peeking through. And what's really important is look at this dry air that is starting to advect from east to west towards southern Minnesota. I think this is our environment for tomorrow, which means even more sunshine than today, and that should help boost our temperatures up another 5 to 10 degrees from where they are today. And just look at this weather over not only Iowa, but southern Wisconsin and Illinois. Thick clouds, thick low stratus clouds there. They're stuck in the 50s down in that portion of the upper Midwest and Midwest. So we're not the only ones suffering here. Others also are experiencing quite a bit in the way of clouds and cool temperatures for this time of year. In fact, here they are. Look at this, 50s down in Dubuque, Rockford, Illinois, even Chicago at 55, Milwaukee at 53. So, those temperatures are a good 20 to 25 degrees below normal. But here we are, Minnesota, northern Minnesota, another beauty. Temperatures in the 70s this afternoon and 60s now here over much of southern Minnesota. And again, I expect these temperatures to go up about 5 to 10 more degrees tomorrow as we get more in the way of sunshine. And just zooming in real quick over central and southern Minnesota, you can see 60s and 70s are the rule, and I think it's going to be mostly 70s tomorrow for everyone, maybe even a stray 80 in some locations like the inner core metro where there is an urban heat island effect. We'll see how that pans out. Why have we been going through this cloudy period? Well, it all has to do with moisture in the lower and mid layers of our atmosphere. This is at the moisture content at 700 millibars, showing the relative humidity levels. And you can see today, even this evening and afternoon and evening, still some moisture coming in out of Wisconsin into southern and eastern Minnesota, advecting from east to west, which is really weird that a weather system is moving in this fashion and clouds are moving in this fashion. But watch what happens as we get into the day tomorrow now. This is dry air depicted by the darker colors on this map. This is dry air now finally that is wrapping in and advecting from east to west into southern Minnesota from Wisconsin. So that's why I'm expecting more in the way of sunshine as we head into tomorrow. And even Thursday, we likely have at least a little bit more sunshine over much of southern Minnesota on Thursday. But still, we're getting this moisture feed all the way from the Atlantic Ocean back west into the upper Midwest. So, and that's all has to do with this storm system that is just sitting and spinning over the Tennessee River Valley and not moving at all. As we look at temperatures over the next couple of days, here they are today. We're in the 60s and 70s over Minnesota, clearly 60s and 70s. I have not seen an 80 as of yet today, and I don't expect that. But watch what happens as we get into tomorrow. Our temperatures drop into the 50s overnight tonight, and then tomorrow, even warmer temperatures here in eastern Minnesota, including the Twin Cities. Mid 70s appear to be a lock for the Twin Cities metro, and I wouldn't be surprised if some rogue thermometers maybe reach or come close to making 80 tomorrow. And look at this warmer air now out in the western Dakotas. We need to keep an eye on this because this is our weather for this weekend, and I'm going to show you that here in just a little bit. By the way, looking ahead to Thursday, you can see temperatures in the 60s and 70s across Minnesota, so kind of a stagnant weather pattern. Now, I mentioned this weekend, and what I really want to focus on is Sunday of this weekend. This is the European computer model guidance. This is the jet stream winds, the river of air at about 30 to 35,000 feet. Let me put it on here for you. And there is a jet streak. The European guidance shows a jet streak, a fairly strong one, heading from southwest to northeast across the Dakotas and into northern Minnesota. These are winds at nearly 100 knots, which is fairly strong for this time of the year. And usually as you get to the right rear quad of a jet streak like this is where thunderstorms like to fire. Okay, so we're going to be keeping our eye on Iowa, southern and central Minnesota, and western Wisconsin for the potential of some severe weather as we get into Sunday. Low-level winds are not that impressive, but still we do have a fetch of southerly winds on Sunday across the upper Midwest, low-level winds, and then winds get a little bit stronger as you go up in height. Here's 700 millibars. You can see the wind's a little bit stronger, and then as we get up to 500 millibars, certainly strong enough winds to promote some severe weather. And not only will we have turning winds in our atmosphere, but we'll also have some warm weather in place. The low-level temperatures on Sunday will be up near or approaching 20 degrees Celsius. That's pretty warm for this time of the year. And the temperatures on Sunday will be rising into the 70s and low 80s. In fact, afternoon temperatures in southeastern Minnesota are expected to be near 80 degrees in southern and eastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. You couple that with dew points that are going to be up in the mid 60s, and you're now starting to get a recipe for at least the potential for severe weather. Now, it's still 5 days away, and a lot's going to happen between now and then, but it does need to be said that this weekend, it could be Saturday, maybe more likely Sunday, we have the potential for severe weather as we have warm air from the Gulf of Mexico coming up into southern Minnesota and eastern Minnesota, and then we have this dry punch of air and a cold front coming in from the Dakotas, all meeting in southern and central Minnesota and western Wisconsin as we head into Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, at least if you believe the European computer model guidance. So, those of you that are looking for active weather, fun weather, some severe weather, are going to need to keep an eye to the sky here this weekend, and people who are out on the lakes certainly need to do that. We will elaborate more on this situation this weekend as we go through tomorrow's briefing and Thursday's briefing. Until then, have a great evening and have a great day tomorrow. We'll see you then.